Welcome to another video, A Walk with Phil, and today I'm in Albury, and what I want to do in this video is show you probably one of the worst or busiest traffic islands there is in the Black Country. I'm going to take you to a traffic island called the Birchley Island, and in my opinion, and many others have said, this is probably the most fraught island you can ever go around. We've got at least half a dozen entrances and exits to this particular island, and some hours of the day it's absolutely frantic getting on there and getting off there. It's fraught with all kinds of potential accidents when you go around there. And not only is Birchley Island, traffic island, busy, but it links to yet another island just off it, which serves the M5 motorway. So we've got, at least 1,000 HGV lorries coming off that particular off that motorway onto that island, and then feeding off that island onto the Birchley Island. I'm just surprised there's not more accidents on there. But anyway, I'm going to take you to the island, show you what I mean, and have a look around the island and see what's around about there as well. Well, I'm going to start just around here. This is the Wolverhampton Road. And this is one of the roads that will lead on to that absolute crazy, mad, chaotic Birchley traffic island, which is ahead. But before I get down there, I just want to show you what used to be over there. See where the trees are? There, and this building just ahead of me, which I think it's being used for something now, but I do remember this building being like a call centre for, I don't know, electricity company or something. But beyond there, all that used to be Birchley Park. Now that Birchley Park, I believe, someone told me that it probably was still there in the 60s. And all this road, what we see now, the Wolverhampton Road, this all got changed in the 60s. It was a pretty straightforward affair down here at one time. You'd have the Wolverhampton Road, that would be just going straight down there, and then you would have a road that went across it called I think it was Birchfield's Lane. So it was like a crossroads down there, so it's fairly straightforward. This is an entrance road, I believe, to the AA building, which you can just see ahead of me. And again, you can see more of the old call centre just there. Next to it, we have the Halfpenny Farm pub. It was built in 2001, and it was originally called the 1 and 2 Halves. And I think they had a £366,000 refurbishment in 2011. And it reopened not long after the refurb, and in 2017 they changed the name to the Halfpenny Farm, around about 2016 I believe. And when you look at it, it looks rather an older building than you think, but it's quite modern. And when you look at it, it's probably 1930s, but nothing like it. Now, just opposite Halfpenny Farm, just to show you this entrance, as I said, to the AA. All over here used to be playing fields. Just over there, they're all playing fields. And I believe that the company that owned all those playing fields back in the day was Ackles and Pollock, and there's a factory that was around here somewhere in Albury. I don't know what they actually did. Yeah, it was quite a large area. I do believe it was still there in the 1960s, up to the 1960s. But I'll show you over here, Birchley Park, I should say, would still continue quite just over there. And next to the 1 and 2 Halves, and next to the Halfpenny Farm, we've got this large building behind the trees here. At least that's the Holiday Inn Hotel, but who remembers what used to be there? It was the Midland Red Bus Garage. I don't know when it actually was built, but its address at the time was Birchley Crossing, Midland Red actually had been around, or were around from 1905 until its demise in 1981, when it became part of the West Midlands Transport Executive. And they continued to use the garages over there, and I think it was disbanded around 1986. And they finally closed the garage. Again, not sure when it was demolished. And through here, this particular area of Ackles and Pollock's playing fields, there used to be tennis courts and bowling greens through there. And there's an original gate post here. There is some writing on the side, but I just cannot for the life of me decipher what it says. But it's an original iron gate post, and it's obviously a gate into somewhere that used to be here through this hedge, whether it was through to the playing fields or not. You see a fair few ambulances around here because there's actually an ambulance hub not far from here. Lots of ambulances are kept. I don't know whether this is another entrance to the AA building just over there. But you can see where the tennis courts and the bowling greens used to be on this area where the car park is. And again you can see clearly the Holiday Inn Hotel where the Midland Red bus garage once stood. And you can see how it faces us, but the Midland Red bus garage itself was kind of on a diagonal. Now we're coming up to the Birchley traffic island now, and this is where it gets absolutely crazy. You can see all the traffic's backing up, and this is not unusual to see, you know, queues and queues of traffic stretching miles back. It's a bit of an exaggeration, but it really is amazing how much traffic is backed up along here. Now just to the right of the Holiday Inn, I'm not sure if you can see any remnants of it, there would have been Birchfield's Lane to the left. It was just next to where the Midland Red bus garage used to be, and where the Shell garage is, petrol garage, once stood the Midland Red Sports and Social Club. I bet one or two of you remember the club and the bus depot. But this is where we get to the island now. And you can see, as I said, this particular entrance to the traffic island backs up quite a lot in the early mornings and going on the way to work and then coming from work. This particular part of Wolverhampton Road is an absolute nightmare. There's cars wanting to go straight on, vehicles want to go straight on, vehicles want to come along this particular road stretch to exit the island to get onto Wolverhampton Road, and they're always in the wrong lane. Some of these cars, they have to merge from over there, over here, and there's always horns blowing. It's fraught with absolute anxiety when you come around this particular part of the island. At the moment we're here, it's around about midday, and you can see it's not too busy. It's a little calmer, I should say. The entrance and exit to from this island over there is Churchbridge, and as I said, next to the Shell garage between the Holiday Inn, there used to be Birchfield Lane, and Birchfield Lane would come through there, and you go through that island and join up with the Birchfield Lane just ahead of me. That would take you down to Hales Owen, and this particular part now ahead of me, that would be going into Albury Town. And if you're travelling along this one, you might be going on your way to Dudley. And in the centre of this huge island, we've got an electricity substation. You can see we've got 4 lanes of traffic. Now you've got these first 2 lanes here inside. There's the lanes that will take you off into Wolverhampton Road, but you can imagine on a busy evening, traffic that's in the 3rd one or the 4th lane, many a time they come over and get into these inside lanes, and it's absolute bedlam. And I know from experience it really is. The wacky races. Now here we've got some office building here, Birchfield House, just to my right, but it's very tree lined, there's lots of trees around, and the island have tried to make it look attractive. No statues or sculptures for this island. We've got lots of trees, small poplars, lots of saplings. surrounding the electricity substation, as you can see. Quite a large substation actually. There's some more office buildings ahead, and we've got another road here. This leads you to a couple of large stores here. We've got Dunhelm. Actually, there's another business here. This is the Safe store. These are springing up all over the shop, aren't they? These storage places. And just beyond this office building here is Halfords. I remember Halfords being in West Bromwich, and I was really disappointed when they moved Halfords from West Bromwich and they moved over here into this establishment just up here opposite Dunelm. And the reason is, of course, trying to get anything now you have to cross this massive island, which again, if you're in the wrong lane ahead, you've got to try and work your way over to get in, to enter this particular road to get to Halfords. But it's not the sort of island you relished attempting. There we have one or two large traffic islands in the Black Country. I don't know more, but I know the one up Birmingham Road near the West Bromwich Albion Football Club. That is an absolute mare as well at times. The lane layout on that one is bordering on insane at times. You're not sure which lane you should be in. This is ahead of me now. We've got the Birchfield Lane. This isn't the original Birchley Lane, obviously. Now, this is what we have to do now. We have to attempt to cross the road. Now, we can see we've got 3 lanes of traffic. We're going to attempt to walk across, which I'm not going to run if I can help it, but sadly, if you're a pedestrian, that's what you tend to do if you're trying to negotiate this island on foot. But this is Birchfield Lane. It's not the original. The original Birchfield Lane will be a bit further up this particular road, which they created to make an entrance and exit to the island. But that goes towards Halesowen or Blackheath, and then onto Halesowen. Now, as I said, as a pedestrian, they have lowered the curbs, so you can risk your life across without tripping over a curb, which is quite helpful. But you can see they couldn't really put any pedestrian lighting down here, because it would have just I've had to run. It would obviously have caused mayhem, but all the traffic is backed up bad enough as it is. Now just come over here and just show you this retail park here. I don't know if it's called a Birchley Island Retail Park, but ahead of me used to be Toys R Us, which closed in 2019. It went into bankruptcy, and from then on we had the B&M, opened around about 2021-22, followed by the Farm Foods, and down there we got I think there's a swimming baths down there, isn't there? And JD gyms. So this was kind of abandoned, this particular area, for a time after Toys R Us closed. I think that was the only business on this large car park. I think McDonald's was here when Toys R Us was here. I think those are the only 2 businesses on here. And just ahead of me we've got Tim Hortons. Right, we're just coming off the retail park now, and have you got an altercation going on here? Cars nearly hit each other on the car park. Car parks, you know, in absolutely crazy places when they're as busy as this. Just over there's a place been there for like years. It's a car part specialist for MGs and old MGs and Jags. davidmanners.co.uk. Now this is the continuation of the Wolverhampton Road. This one will continue into, this road will take you to Quinton, Birmingham, that way. And you can see a bit more of the car parts place just ahead. So it's been there years, that place. Not much to see on this particular corner. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross here whilst I can and take you to the other side of the traffic island, where at the moment it's This bit's quiet, but I tell you what, give you a couple of hours and this place is absolutely mental. This particular road here, the Wolverhampton Road. Fortunately, some of the exits and entrances to these roads have some traffic lights, so it certainly helps to calm the traffic down a bit. But when they hit these islands, some of this traffic drives so fast. One thing you won't see, you could see lots of lorries and cars, but you won't see many pedestrians trying to negotiate their way around here. You certainly do risk your life, I tell you. There's a large signage there that says Sandwell, because this is the kind of gateway, if you like, because of the M5 motorway. The M5 motorway, to my right, was built from 1962 onwards, and I think it was in the 70s finally reached Albury, and it begins at junction 8M6, the M5, and it continues all the way down to Exeter, which is a total length of 163 miles. So this is now another entrance and exit to the crazy Birchley Island, and this one is the motorway. Now this is one of the, as a pedestrian, how on earth do you cross this without having to sprint across? There's no way you can attempt to cross this road without the lights changing. I think we've got a light change. We can make our way across now. Now this is the particular entrance here, which is absolutely fraught with panic and danger. As traffic is coming ahead of me, it merges with the traffic coming from Churchbridge on the right. And so many times this is where you have to run across. There's no way you can do otherwise. And I was nearly taken out by that car. Yeah, you see cars are coming from the right of Churchbridge, and they merge with traffic coming from the Wolverhampton Road. And there's 3 lanes here, and they're all just jostling to get into the lane in the morning. It's just bedlam. And there's a bloke there on a bicycle. Mine's his electric bike. So as a pedestrian, that was the first time I've attempted to get round this island on foot, and fortunately I made it. Right, this is the entrance and exit to Churchbridge. This is another one you have to try and negotiate. Absolutely impossible, I tell you this now, to try and cross this road first thing in the morning and around about 5 o'clock in the evening, 4 o'clock onwards in the evening. No way, and I've just stumbled across, but there is no way you could cross that road. And as I said, look, there's a complete lack of pedestrians walking around here. As I said earlier, this is the Shell garage, and this used to be the site of the Midland Red Sports and Social Club. Now this is another tricky one. Can we get across here? As all this traffic from the island is heading straight for me. So it's not one of these roads you can amble across, except certain hours of the day. I managed again to get across there without too much issue. And we've got some a bit of a memorial going on there, look. So sadly someone didn't make it across the island. And through here, I'm not sure if we can get to see anything here on the Holiday Inn car park. The social club here to my right, and the bus garage up here, and ahead of me would have been, we could say, was around about here there somewhere. It used to be Birchfield Lane, now sadly long gone. Well, I managed to get round the Birchley traffic island without being knocked down live on camera. Funny enough, it's only really in the Midlands. They don't really call them traffic islands, they call them roundabouts. In other parts of the country they tend to be called traffic islands. but this one is probably one of the busiest ones that I know. It's absolutely crazy. I'm trying to give you an idea as to how bad it is or could be, but you'd have to come round here first thing in the morning, say about 8 o'clock, and from 4 o'clock onwards in the evening to really appreciate how absolutely chaotic this island is. But anyway, we'll leave it at that. If you like the video, hit the like button and also hit subscribe and hit the notification bell for new videos, and I'll see you on the next one.